Good afternoon to everyone. It's nice to meet you this Sunday. So today we're going to talk about the Buddhist practice of going for refuge. So going for refuge is something that marks one out as a Buddhist. So we're going to look at today what are the objects of refuge, what are the causes that lead one to willingly go for refuge, and then the way of thinking that is required in order, a way of thinking that's required for a practice to be one of refuge. The mind of refuge is of particular importance in Buddhism because it is the boundary as to whether one is a Buddhist or not a Buddhist. So it's the doorway by which or through which one enters into the practices of the Buddha Dharma. So therefore the mind of refuge is one of particular importance. And here just to say as an aside, in terms of the translation, this word refuge, it has the meaning of protection. So you can understand refuge as meaning protection. And today is actually an exceptionally auspicious day, so I have to say it brings great delight to me to be able to meet you today, and also in particular to talk about this topic on such an auspicious day, because today is the anniversary of the first teaching that Buddha Shakyamuni gave all those many centuries ago in Varanasi. So it's called the Wheel Turning Day, where the Dharma wheel, the wheel of Dharma, was turned for the first time. So in Varanasi, 2,500 years ago, Buddha Shakyamuni today gave his very first teaching, that on the Four Noble Truths. It starts to then look at what are the objects that one goes to for refuge, or to translate it differently, the objects to which one goes to for protection. So in Buddhism we talk about three objects of refuge. So there are three jewels, three jewels that one goes to refuge towards. The first is the Buddha jewel, the second is the Dharma jewel, and the third, the Sangha jewel. So these are the three objects of refuge: the Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel, Sangha jewel.
Gonjo Sum de Sangye Gonjo, Shio Gonjo, Kidin Gonjo Suminza, Dana Sangye Gonjo Sidi, Sangye Gonjo de Sangye Sede, Ganechila Sangye Lagore, Sachi, Yorwada, Sangye Sede, the Ganechila Sangye Lagore, Sachi, Yorwada.
Let's look then at the first of the three objects, that of the Buddha jewel. So the Buddha jewel refers to a Buddha. So what constitutes, what makes a being suitable to be called a Buddha?
Sangye de Dangbo ne Sangye Chade Barebes, and the Ganesri Labna, and the Sangye said, Dangbo and the Sangye Chago, Dangbo, Nashin Chivichare, the Yomo, Kondo Sayo, Duja Kondo, and the Gama Yutin. Dinza and the Denigi Sangye said, Nyamlin Che, Nyamlin Che, and the Gale Captain, Dustin, Nyamlin Chebaltine, and the Sangye Chasomade.
And to understand what a Buddha is, the first point to understand is that a being that is a Buddha wasn't always a Buddha, wasn't always an enlightened being. Prior to enlightenment is something that is attained, it's developed within oneself. So beings that attain enlightenment, that become Buddhas, at one point they were ordinary beings just like us, ordinary beings whose minds were dominated by destructive emotions like anger and attachment and suffered in so many ways, just like us. But through training their minds in the Buddha Dharma, cultivating virtuous qualities, eliminating faults, and doing so with great diligence, eventually they became a Buddha.
Men de chao kongro nyomo chik yugi nisu tene machine begin chik momba mongboyo maripa mongboyo wa chesanga zugi chik nisu ra samtabe de tan machine ba mongboyo nga zu machine yo mongbo shuyo wa ananga zulia bene sem makibo suge nyomo ba de shukshembo mongboyo wa nyomo ba rikta mara mongboyo wa.
The situation that we find ourselves in is that we have many destructive emotions that cause us so much mental anguish and suffering. Minds such as attachment and desire, minds such as anger and frustration and annoyance, ignorance of many types of confusion and many things that we don't know, many things that remain hidden to us. So we have a wide array of these afflicted minds or destructive emotions that cause us so much inner turmoil and torment. And that's the position that we as ordinary beings find ourselves in.
Sangye said, Dangbo house Naji, and go to give Dembashake to Batawina, Yama, Tachipuchi house Naji, Deniza, and go Yamlenje, and Romang Biringlia, Suzuki, Yamlenje, Com Jab, and the Com Jabal Tene, and a Suzuki Yomo Birikima, Chun Naja, and Yomo Basa Zawatine, Game, and Yomo Basha and Jeba, Chasa Bang Inza, and Sang, so had a song, and the Nigu. 你的怕设计什么种子下的你上把的上了这你的没法下上了没法说吧的话我的那些牛毛把俺就给了什么对下空着对下老师的那个牛毛被这把下他接吧7把下他接吧车上找我给你但前面的给你永远没法说吧说吧这上是过来
So as was just mentioned, Buddhas, beings that have attained enlightenment, were ordinary just like we are. And it's the being that attained enlightenment and became known as Buddha Shakyamuni, so amongst the many Buddhas that became Buddha Shakyamuni, just like all the other Buddhas, trained and developed his mind over a vast period of time, eliminating all faults and attaining good qualities. So the word Buddha is a Sanskrit word. The Tibetan word is Sangye. So Sangye, this word is comprised of two syllables. Thank you. 2 syllables. The first being sang, the second gye. So the meaning of sang can be likened to awaken, like when we wake up in the morning and we arise all fresh, the clear mind. So this then refers to that a being who has attained enlightenment has completely purified their minds of all faults, of all the gross faults, or the coarse faults, such as the afflicted minds like anger and desire, as well as the seeds and the imprints from which these arise, and has eliminated them so completely that they will never arise again. So the mind is completely purified of all faults, not just coarse faults, but the very subtlest faults as well, and completely purified in the sense these afflictions, or anything even resembling an affliction, will never again arise. And that then is the meaning of the first syllable of the name Sangye or Buddha, and that is the syllable Sang.
차상 캔체위 되니게 다 마캔 봐서 되니지 요 말해서 비게 최간의 지나 차상 아니 응었음도 캔봐 인자 마캔 봐 강에 매봐 인자 아니 계서 올다 계봐서 최 차상 봐케 캔사와 인자 계봐서 지상 상계 계서 되니지라 거와.
Then the second syllable of this of Ge. So this we can liken to a flower that's opening and blossoming. So generally when we think of, in the Buddhist context, think of a lotus flower that's arisen from the mud of a pond and is opening, blossoming. So this meaning to arise, then this refers to the development of the omniscient consciousness. So a being who attains omniscience or attains enlightenment, completely purifies all their afflictions, the meaning of Sang, and then Ge, they develop, they attain an omniscient consciousness, meaning everything becomes known to them. Everything becomes known to them manifestly, explicitly. Nothing is hidden or unknown. So this is, of course, very different from us right now. There's lots we don't know. Whereas a being who's a Buddha has an omniscient, their consciousness is omniscient, and therefore all phenomena, everything that exists, is known to them.
아니 연된 이렇게 캔 거야 차상 캔차에 되니게 연된 톱고에 연된 이렇게 차상 톱차지 다딩이 모두 연된 가야 매디겐 되니게 제라 아니 상기라고 균 이렇게 차서 봐셔다 제가 차상 방차 연된 이렇게 톱고에 차상 톱차 되니게 차지겐 균이 차상이 매 연된 이렇게 차상 된디겐 되니지는 상기라고 그러다.
So a being that then is a Buddha, that is suitable to be called a Buddha, to be called Sangye, is a being who has completely eliminated all their afflicted minds together with the seeds and the imprints from which they arise, and it's to eliminate them perfectly. In other words, not even a trace with them, the slightest trace of them will ever arise again. And moreover, they have developed all good qualities to a degree of perfection. And this then is expressed through the omniscient consciousness. So a Buddha then is a being that has developed themselves to a point of perfection. All faults have been completely eliminated and all good qualities have been developed to a level of perfection. Such a being is a Buddha.
네 상계라고 상계 권초라고 지상 상계 권초라에 대한 증용 권랍네 넘중 권부들이라 권라고 지상 촉세대 되는 약쇼的这个로 지상 안 저기 가르선 전부를 나려 안지게 권부릭 베네 도시 팔람세다 세 권부라지 Dini nane yada kumbo di ganzuki jala nane yashor chagurwa. Chisa sangi kuncho la du dini ki driba bacha dan jeba chasam gyungi chasa meba suye ane yonde rik chasa shinyagi dini di raya di kumbo shiure esi urwa. Dini di raya kumbo shiure dini di pemma sigi da ganzuki zambuli nale da yaksho diri esi urwa da gajigo sangi kuncho sigi.
That's the meaning then of the word Buddha. In the context of refuge, we talk about the Buddha jewel. So the word jewel, kunchok, again has two syllables, kun and chok. So kun is the syllable that means rare, so something being very rare. Chok means supreme or greatest or best. So this then we can understand through a worldly context. So if we think of something that is rare and a possession of great value that's rare in this world, we'd say probably diamonds. If someone has diamonds, very good, it has something of great value. So this is something that's rare, and perhaps many people would agree amongst worldly possessions, diamonds are supreme. Then we could understand then the meaning of the word jewel in this way. That it is a being that is a Buddha, is a being that has perfected themselves, and therefore, a being that has perfected themselves, such a being in the world is extremely rare, but is also the supreme amongst beings. So this then is the meaning of the term jewel. In Buddha, jewel.
상기에 살라네 상기에 세야나 상기에 권초서 기시요데 다 don다라 오다 상기에 라면도 괜찮아 매바 수여체 윤den차사 신사겐데라 상기에 고레사지 롤야 되네 차고로와 제산다 덤바샤게 두바디 상기에 덤바샤게 두바 상기에 숨고로와 제산 덤바샤게 두바 상기에 덤바샤게 두바디다 안에 지게 괜찮아 반차겐 괜이릭 자와기네 메디겐 윤den 이릭 차사 된디간다 신야 차사신 마신 바세 윤네 메디 가사시 사실 상계 지상 상계 좀 된데서야 돼. 된데 시리다 선빙한서 지상 좀 된데 라요는데 상계 구루지 변비 구루 제용되는 어다딩원에냐마 되게 균이를 차상 빵차 연대 이렇게 차상 톱차 되게 연대에 되는 게 선빙한서야 삼론알야 상계에서야 상계 좀 된데서야 돼. 직니 작고야다 된 구루 제용되는 상계에서 된다는 시리에서 삼론이하고 그러면서
So now when you hear about a Buddha or Buddhas in general, or a particular Buddha such as Buddha Shakyamuni, understanding the meaning of this term Buddha, you will know that this is a being who trained and develops their mind to a point of perfection, where they have perfectly eliminated all faults, all afflicted minds together with their seeds and imprints, and developed all good qualities, also to a degree of perfection. In this way developed their wisdom of omniscience. So this is the meaning of the term Buddha, and whenever you hear about a Buddha or Buddhas in general, or the particular Buddha of Buddha Shakyamuni, that you will understand the meaning of what it means to be an enlightened being, a being who has attained perfection.
난 내내 니버리 최고권조서라 최고권조서야디 람덴당 곡된시로다 아주 파부이길에 이게 람덴라나 아니 최기 니수 den시 덴바시라서 니수 무슨도 또 되긴 캠바디기라 나는 파부이기 캠바디를 람덴시고래 람디 곰발라 때네 아니 아주 뇽모버릭라 다 릭타마라 릭슉 채와다 중와다 되네 전디네기 뇽모버릭 사바나 제바 가야롱와 직방디기 방비 고된텔라 네 최고조시고래 지상 람덴당 고된이들라 최고조라고래.
So we mentioned that the objects that one goes to for refuge, for protection, will be the three jewels. And we've looked at the first, that of the Buddha jewel, and now the second, that of the Dharma jewel. So the Dharma jewel refers to realizations or qualities within the mind of particularly developed beings, or Arya beings, noble beings. So a being that's referred to as an Arya being or a noble being has given rise to particular qualities of realization. And those then are what is meant by the Dharma jewel. In brief, it's the true paths and true cessations. So this is what is meant by the Dharma jewel. So the true path then so path is a mental path, these are minds. So it's mental paths that have directly realized the Four Noble Truths. The anniversary of the teaching is today, of course. So the path, these mental paths that are on a continuum of a noble being, an Arya being, these are paths that have directly realized the Four Noble Truths. And through realizing these, one attains true cessations. And cessations refer to when one has attained these true paths, one starts to eliminate the varying levels of these destructive emotions or these afflicted minds, starting from the coarsest level of afflictions down to the subtlest levels. So when these are starting to be abandoned, each level of abandonment is a cessation, where that level of destructive emotion ceases. So these minds that are true cessations and true paths are what is meant by the Dharma jewel.
Na gendun go jo se di deni ge lam nyamlen che che phabe lam gyula ge de gen lam den gyula de jing zu chue go jo se jo ro lam de deni ge gyula ge de gen ge phabe ga sa de je la ani gendun go jo si go le.
And the third jewel, that of the Sangha jewel, this refers to the beings who have the Dharma jewel in their continuum, the noble beings or the Arya beings. Those beings who have attained that, or cultivated, generated within themselves true paths and true cessations, in other words, the Dharma jewel, these Arya beings, these noble beings, are the Sangha jewel.
Da di kyap su zhe yu di dire da san ye guan chou, che guan chou, ki ding guan chou, kyap sum se di dire da nga zu kyap su zhe yu di dire.
So these then are the three objects of refuge: the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel, usually referred to as the three jewels or the triple gem.
Da nga zu kyap su zhe go ro, da kyap su zhe le ya nang bo kyap su zhe yu di kan es ku gu re sen da kyap su zhe yu di le ni yo re.
And what causes one to go for refuge? Well, there are two causes that lead one to go for refuge or go to protection to the three jewels.
Dene yin za da kyap su zhe yu ni di ka re lam na gyu chik di dire pe na nga zu ge jige dunga ge ne su sam ta je ko wa dil ya nga zu ge da jige na ya mo bo jige nyo mo be jige su pe ne na za mo bo na ya da dene jige nyomobe tuasha kongzhuo wangki pazu ane jige machu dang ane jige sem ganga dang luyi ganga dene ge la kowa dilya ne naza dang ganga de bang du samdang na kahoi na ganga se da ganga na jiwu se samdang ba ne jiwu se de gyaja gyatang na ne chung gama jige ma do yo me diga jire 지금 다 동화세다 강화세데 게디 이나한 줄에 무디제 지금 꼬라잡질이 되게 지금 제사디 만도 미삼마에 미다 dunro다 차살야디 강아디 게디 나요 되게 제사디네 자도 지나가 두 삼다제 아제다 코아딜야가주 지금 강아냐냐 레샤 강아딜데 마트 강아슈 레샤 선비게 강아 삼다제 강아데 데네스데 강아딜데 타고도 선비게 마타네데 타 미누 선비게 삼로 지레다 디 강아게 니 수기를 통어제네 데라 타고도 선비 삼로 지차고래.
The first cause for going for refuge, this comes about through thinking about, meditating in some detail about the suffering natures of samsara or cyclic existence, coming to see just how many problems and difficulties pervade the experience of ordinary beings like ourselves who are trapped within samsara, and how seldom happiness comes away, and certainly when we do experience happiness, how quickly this dissipates. It just does not last. When we think about all the problems that we ourselves experience, those that we know and experience as well as what we observe in the world, we can think about the various physical sufferings such as unwanted illness that afflict beings, or the mental suffering, minds such as desire and anger and pride and jealousy that destroy any hope of mental peace, and then external problems in the world, whether it's a conflict in the home, conflict between communities, conflict between nations. So when one thinks about this in fine detail, one sees just how many problems beings experience, and that even when things are going well, there's always the possibility of the situation changing in the blink of the eye, and an awful unwanted situation coming about. And this is a situation for humans everywhere, no matter what kind of society or what kind of situation they find themselves in. Likewise, it's pervasive throughout the animal kingdom as well. So through thinking about the suffering nature of samsara, a wish to be liberated, to be freed from suffering, a wish not to have to experience these unwanted problems and difficulties ever again arises. And this is the first cause.
Chikada dele sache dele tengone sache zokbaresha lung zokbaresha an saya tuya raya kale khabo shuresha an jigi sancho thuganda dine kanga resha khoyu zokbaresha an saya tuya da dine raya khabo resha dine enza an ngazugi chike chamjam rodan jibuda sache mindu sambige gyönjang thongbaena an gar chagresena 딜레데 사제 샨다 지와질 로고도 선배 삼로도 숙심리기로와 사제 델야 르간조니에서 코리딜 괜장장 강아장장 통되베나 내가 삼로 갈고리기스는 어때래 샨다 질 로, 깁사질 로고도 선배기 삼로지 코우로와 제가 데네 인자 디 삼로 코고 다 number 델야 사제 델야 가서 기부도 제 강아 민도 선배 삼단 삼코바나 델야 강아 두스 마사베나 사지 딜 샨다질 로고 기사질 로고 선배 삼로도 리그 말해 봐 디네 인자 아주기 베딘다신 아주 코비기 델야 絹로 쉬우지 마통 바이나 델야 타제 야가질 줘야기 내는 아주 삼로디 레투고 말아 봐 진짜 데네기 베딘다신 아주 코와딜 絹 쉬우레샤 선배 삼도 오 델레데 마타네 타면 샨다질 디 기사질 로고 선배 삼로 리기로 와 진짜 디네 인자디 絹 디네 코비 絹 다지 델야다 타고도 선배 삼로 깨고야디 김산디로지 가선 디니스케 바이나 야 건조숨리야 캡수줘야 캡로데 야보 두고래 조두고래 진짜 디니게 삼로 깨마도 숙침을 깨마도 캡로데 숙침을 제두 조두고 말 디네 인자 만주기 絹 통고 따고래세비 삼로 된지 코고래세비 김산디래.
Again, we can understand this through relating it to our everyday life experience. So if we're in a situation it's manifest to us, it's very clear to us that this situation is beset with problems, that we're having a lot of conflict, there's every way we turn with it, we try this or we try that, we just experience more and more problems and difficulties. Naturally, the wish to leave will come about, the wish to extract ourselves from this situation, because we see it as something hostile, as something difficult, as just being beset with problems and difficulties. And naturally, we'll want to be freed of this problem, this situation, liberated, go somewhere else. On the other hand, if everything's great, life is problem-free, and everything around us is just perfect, then no wish to change. Everything is exactly how it is and exactly how you want it, and we have confidence it always will be. Then no wish to change. So this is the same as that can be likened then to this first cause that leads to the wish to go for refuge, is thinking about our situation and thinking about it with clarity and coming to understand clearly the suffering nature of cyclic existence. This leads to us to the natural wish to arise, to be free, to be liberated of suffering, to be freed of this situation where it often seems like one problem befalls another, and then another, and sometimes we have 3 or 4 befalling us at the same time. And when you see how we always either in such a situation or at the point where it's always the possibility of falling into such a situation, the wish to be freed of this naturally arises.
데네게 강아 디게르 디기우미네 강아 딜라 타고도 삼제 데네 기합샤다네 베네 오실라나를 민망불레 용거래 디멘비게다 기합 약사 에레다 데네게 즉 유럽 쪽에서 기합 야가라 망부 내용으로 딜레야디 가르치는 리고선 고아주게 돼서 룸바들라 까시우이 통 다델레디 마타나 타면 델레 야가지 조고 섬제 약사지 델레야 데니지는 연구로 맞도 고아주 룸발레 기우도 다베 딕샤 삼베섬 연구 말아 베디나 지바래.
With meditation, to understand a topic, one starts meditating at a very coarse level, and when you get some understanding, one sequentially goes down to a subtler level. So to understand this clearly on a coarse level, one thinks about what we observe usually through the news, and we see how some people are living really in quite desperate situations, either due to famine or drought, but where in places where the government cannot support them, or where there is terrible conflict. And we know that there are countless beings living in such situations in the world. And one can imagine the conversations that happen between families, or within families rather, where people look at the situation and think, what can we do? How can we free ourselves from the situation? How can we take our children somewhere that's safe, somewhere that's secure? And we see then there's these patterns of migration where either refugees come here, or they go to other safe countries such as within Europe or to the United States, trying to be freed of problems, freed of difficulties. And we see this very, very clearly in the world. And if we imagine ourselves in that situation, we would also look for ways to liberate ourselves, free ourselves from these problems.
어디나이나 저기 고발이야 동아랑신바 삼다 동아 타고 선배 삼다야디 직디래 다 니바데를 가르스네 대신 저기 개유 산유권초 최고적 기준권초 되게 연된 통화야디 연된 아니 직들이야 만줄이 되니기 연대 여바 통치 동아 교 투역이 니버로시 여바디 통치 되니기 연된 통화야디.
So that's the first of the two causes that turn one's mind towards refuge, turn one's mind towards the three jewels. The second is to reflect on the qualities of the three jewels. And this needs to be done so that one can have the conviction that there is a point in turning towards the three jewels for protection, for refuge. And that point being, due to their qualities, they can provide protection. So this then is the second cause.
Bene dinajirwa bene deshi ngazu lumba chanda ngazu lumba de kanga shiudo da dele tajin da Australia gihab jogudu samme da Australia gi gihab nala ya yenden ma thona dik dele jogudu samme ne gihab dele yenden ma thona gihab dele yoya gi dönye gi marwa chesa yenden thona gar yenden garson o gihab dele jona ani jig bombo de ge mimala dado yakbo chigire ani ji koryu de ge yakbo chesa dine janga kanga de ge segire sambe chesa gihab dele jobaina manjuge kanga de ge segire sambe sosu giwu yungure sambe di ani dele gihab de ge yenden thona je di gihab dele jobaina kanga segire sambe ichi ji ligoro wa chesa dine ge yenden thona dina shin 상계야 상권조 숨기 연대 통제 연대도 어디니 연대 야고도 니나시 연대 직내다 먼저 강하 세계의 선비게 리그와 어디니 연장 내니게 연대 통해도 니네 권조 숨나 접수 줘야기 규칙 책으로 연대 통해야 돼.
So the second cause then, when coming to know and then clearly see the qualities of the three jewels, then faith will arise within oneself, a mind of faith that there is a great purpose in turning one's mind towards the three jewels for protection from suffering, in order to attain or develop within oneself liberation from suffering. But one will only do so if one clearly sees for oneself the qualities of the three jewels. Otherwise, there's been no reason to turn to them for protection. So to understand this clearly, we think of the illustration again for those in desperate situations who are looking to flee a place of either environmental problems or conflict. If they've never heard of Australia, they're going to have no idea to come here. It will not even occur to them. Or if they look at a map and they see Australia, but they don't know of the many great qualities within this country. They may have heard of Australia, but again, no wish to come here. They will not see that coming to Australia will provide them with the desired protection from suffering, with liberation from suffering. Whereas on the other hand, if they've heard about the great qualities of living in Australia, they've researched it well and they've heard from those that they know and trust, they hear that the environmental concerns that perhaps plague where they live now are not found here. And that there's a government in Australia that provides protection from overt harm. Thinking like this, if they come to know these qualities clearly, they will see Australia as a place that provides protection from suffering. That living here, they would be liberated from their suffering.
디네기 균이 디래라 거기 동아야 균 코아들라 타고도 선배게 타르게 삼바 숙치마게 지다 안에 델레기 교바 코아들이 동아 델레 교역이 뉴바디다 오늘 건조스물 뉴바두 연된두 선배게 연 건조 연대 토위기 연대 통화니디 디니디 아주 삼나 게어도 되는 아주 가르쳐 왔는데 건조스물이야 cap수 주고 그래.
Having reflected then on the suffering nature of cyclic existence and given rise to a wish to be freed of problems, freed of difficulties, and seeing that the three jewels have the qualities and therefore the ability to provide this longed-for protection from suffering, then one's mind will naturally turn towards the three jewels, and one will go for refuge, for protection to the three jewels. So in this way, these two causes lead to the result of one going for refuge to the three jewels.
다 되니게 아니 점수 되게 점로셔야 돼. 간지 라구래람나 다디래. 되니게 균이버 될라 때네 땅에 동화되게 상 되니 건조스면 쪼그레 삼비기 20배 20되다. 20 쪼그레 세비게다. 쪼그레 삼비 20배 켈림배 담자디. 다 동화주게 동화 가네신다디 델레디다 타야디 수지기에서 건조스면 지기리 건조스면 쪼그레 세디 20배 켈림배기 태좀 균에메 봐 롤링기 셈딩이야 다이만 20배 켈림데라 아니 점로시고다 되니게 동화 타달로 껴비 뉴바도 건조스면 두 제사 다 되니게 건조스면 쪼그레 삼비 20배 켈림배기 담자데라 점로라고다.
Having cultivated these two causes, then independence on these, from the depths of one's heart arises the wish, I will go for refuge to the three jewels because they have the ability, the capacity to provide protection from suffering. They have the ability to enable my inner development so that I develop within myself protection from suffering. And when this mind of conviction within the qualities of the three jewels arises from the depths of one's heart, then that it has developed the mind that is going for refuge.
파 이체비게 다 켈림베 담자디 잠로레 제산 데니게 잠로 데니게 삼로된 주 야네 양도 땅고 데니 동아 타달레 껴비 동아 타라들 간스교 건조스미 껴그레 선비게다 이체베다 태좀균에메 다 껴고 있나메나 직격을 라구도데 데텐데 있나메나 선비게 도과서나 안에 지금 태좀 자르고와 제산 네 땜부차고 말 되네 인자 데텐데 껴그레 세비 이체비게다 타체네 로파 타체네 쪼그레 샘비기 타체베 삼로디 아주 점로스 곰바레스 디 삼로디 바 고메디레 야네도 곰지 슈크체 다디가 뉴바차샤 다디레 제상 아주 점로스야 디디레.
Through cultivating these two causes repeatedly in meditation, coming to see firstly, how suffering pervades cyclic existence, and giving rise to an ever stronger wish to be freed of this. And then the second cause of coming to see clearly for oneself the qualities of the three jewels, that they have the ability to protect one from suffering. Then one's mind of refuge grows ever stronger. And in particular, looking at, when we look at these two causes, if one has some doubts, if one thinks, oh, well, sometimes life's a bit hard, but actually generally it's okay, then that first cause is weak. And therefore, the resulting mind that goes for refuge is going to be weaker. The stronger this conviction arises within us that that samsara is pervaded by suffering, that our suffering comes from our minds within us, these minds of anger and attachment and the like, the stronger this understanding is, the more definite our conviction of the situation is, the stronger our mind of refuge will be.
다 상계리아 건조숨이야 동안로 겹이 누버 요래데 이내다 알아주길라 다 건조숨 겹으리에서 이시에 쌍마치다 데 템부시 매바 있나 알아줄이야 아니 가서리 동안로 겹 두고 말해 그래서네 베네 디로와 랍다 게햄페 마서 연된 캐바체모 슈지 갈랍나 랍싱에 캐바체모 슈슈여바체 달랍칸 loma diglia da di ya bolla gi na mena ko la shin ina mena sambe do ba sa ba tin che ben ko chike yen de la dizira donate che jang ma wa ane da gi loma diglia o da di ngi ya bo shin ngi ja ha di ko la gi ngi ma shin ba de ko me ba shin ba su tu gu de den zo gi sambe yi che sang ma che che sem shu che ba ina ane la kan yen di ya bo la yo de so so ra jang che ne lo sho de ya bo shin gi wa 지나 아데디 라브이나 랍싱고레 야고요 라브고레 이나다 예나메나 코응이디 신와차스 투기네메나 섬제 데니기 삼로디 예나 장도의 되니를 숙침보들이고 말 장도의 되니를 숙침보면나 말레나 아니 예니가 zel랍나메니 지게 야고라 신투구메로 베로스티로와 세상 안줄이야 베나 이니마 자규로스까지 담베나 델야 지쿠로 지메베네 야렌 일레요 마르스페니 디로시베네 예야 카고로와 언데 소소라나 알롱 지에는 가서 알롱 세팅 아주 건조숨네 대바 20에 대바 템부시세 알롱으로 오시래 제에는 대상계기마 건조이 디치데 고야 마스야 탈코발야 저 젠투구리에서로
One needs to engage in these reflections repeatedly so that one's conviction of the suffering nature of cyclic existence and that the three jewels can provide protection from suffering, that this grows stable within us. And this conviction is not wavering. It's not sometimes, yeah, I think so, and sometimes, yeah, maybe not. Because if one's conviction is wavering like that, if there's some doubt, some uncertainty, then the ability of the three jewels to lift us from suffering, to guide us in our self-development, to free ourselves from suffering, their ability will not be able to have much impact on us. So we've heard about the great qualities of the three jewels. But for those three jewels to be able to have an impact on ourselves, that depends on our reciprocal attitude. So this is what we're talking about here in terms of developing a mind of stable conviction. So if we think back to either our school days or university days, we may have had a very skilled professor before us, and that professor may have had a great attitude and really wanted to impart all her knowledge to us and developed very great skills within her students. But if a student sitting there thinking, yeah, I wonder if she really knows what she's talking about. You know, she's got maybe a great title or many qualifications posted on the wall, but I'm not so sure she really knows what's going on. Then for sure that student's not going to be listening well and is not going to go home and do much study and is not going to do particularly well in terms of their development of knowledge. On the other hand though, if the student has great trust in the professor And everything the professor says, she'll listen well, her notes will be detailed, she'll go home wanting to study and understand them, probably read further, etc., and come to do very well. So this illustration shows how for the professor, all the three jewels, for their great qualities, to have an impact on ourselves, we need to develop sincere conviction with towards their qualities, not something contrived, but through investigation and contemplation, that we have conviction that the three jewels can guide us in our inner transformation and thereby protection from suffering.
나는 권조섬 디가 아주 동아 타달라 교비 뉴바데 권조섬고 여러데 권조섬 교브레 선배 이체 아니 tempo damcha khelen be yishe de la ngazo kyamro la gore chesa ngazo deni ke khelen be kyamro cheba na te konjo sum ngazo dunga kan skogure sambe ki da diwani bar liga kan skogure lamna da han diwashli girwa kan skogure sne da kyopta de deni tin kyopure seji she gorwa.
We've spoken then about the qualities of the three jewels. We've spoken about the causes that lead to the mind of refuge. We've spoken about the need to develop stable, unwavering trust and conviction in the three jewels in order for us, with sincerity, to turn towards them for protection from suffering. And that is the mind of refuge. So then, how do the three jewels provide refuge or provide protection?
Dene inza da ne ganis gyogure lamna da gyopta denis gyogore pene nga juge sanje dele ya captain bobo sigore captain bobo re sigore da chue konjo de la cap ngwe re la cap ngwe ne de chue konjo de re sigore cap ngwe se de da genin konjo de cap drube da ro re sigore da ro asang zu ro chi gen re sigore.
So the three jewels then. First is Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddha jewel, and he is the teacher of refuge. And then the Dharma jewel, this is the actual refuge. So of the three jewels, the actual refuge is the Dharma jewel. And then the third, the Sangha jewel, they play the role of being our helpers or our companions in our development. So Buddha jewel is Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddha jewel is the teacher of refuge. The Dharma jewel is the actual refuge. And the Sangha jewel are our helpers, our companions.
Denege nazidela jahagi mendi da jawadi chukoncho sedire chukoncho da be chukoncho dire chukoncho sedi menda jaware sere da jigmen dusu le te pa nebal ya ta do jeji men dusu te wa da gare ge je wa chasan pa le henji benanga ju menga na la mensha ba joro wa denin koncho sedi menshi ba da be ru chaware jesa member keba digi neba digi ngao neba japsu johan di da neba nashi neba roshi chisa deni inza member keba digi neba digi ya ne naza kane kane chi chasan chi gyu dene je sha deni chi men deni chi ne tena pensare san bigi chasan ha gu gore ha go ne ken ne ku men di gore men chisa de men ti gore de men ti adu dang anju gi men di dusu ka ji sa go ka ne sa go chasa ma hin du an ma never neo menshap tiki anzulia dusu tinetelia men tata dusu tea tang anzulia chik men du sagore ta and den chewars ma lobten cha chasan nyamdu anzu nyamdu de신 ro chekindi ane ginu koncho de chesanga tang anzu men de ba sa yodu menshap tiki men te anzu men ding anzu sa jeng anzu ro na ma ro du dini gi men gi nubadi anzu na la subu na le du nubatele tin anzu neba de mewa su gore on dinashi Pedinashin, Sangiki, Mazolia, and the Tingajuki, Ganga Segi, Ganga Gudi, Denetine, Gudi Meba Sobala, Gom Denetin Jawore, Yamin Denishores, Ma, Ganangore. Chesa, Mazugida, Yamlin Jiri Kablia, Mazu Rojino, Yamlin Jerochik, Robot Chicken, then Jedi, Kinugocha Chekore. Chesa Mazu, Yamlin Jeje, that Chokoncha de Jikote, Lambini. 또 냠는 제장 아주 줄라 람된데 줄라 깨어도 되는 아주 동안에 탈고 와 제가 동안에 껴고 그래 지상 껴타디 되는 껴고 그래 제래
So you remember earlier we mentioned that the three jewels are the Buddha jewel, which is a Buddha is a being who has completely eliminated all faults and developed all good qualities to a state of perfection. The Dharma jewel are the realizations, the mental realizations, the minds of true paths and true cessations. And then the Sangha jewel are the beings who have the Dharma jewel in their continuum. So Arya beings or noble beings. So to understand then how the three jewels provide protection, we again use an analogy. So we, through meditating on the causes of refuge, we have come to understand we've come to understand the suffering nature of cyclic existence and given rise to a wish to be freed of that. And we've understood that the three jewels have the ability to protect us. So this then can be likened to someone who's recognized they're ill. So a patient or many pockets. That's okay.
Okay,
so the
fresh.
So we can be likened to a patient who has recognized that we are ill. That because we've understood that we are suffering, so we've recognized that we're ill, so we can be likened to a patient. Now we go to a very skilled doctor, so an expert in our field of illness. And the skilled doctor is likened to the Buddha jewel. And the Buddha jewel, the skilled doctor, will diagnose our illness and will prescribe medicine, which is likened to the Dharma jewel, the actual refuge. But to ensure that we follow the prescription perfectly, then if we are in hospital, we'll be cared for by nurses, or if we're at home, we'll have someone who is taking care of us to make sure we follow the prescription perfectly. And these nurses or carers would be likened to the Sangha jewel. And the Sangha jewel then, they serve to ensure that we follow the advice given by the Buddha jewel perfectly. In other words, that our usage of the Dharma jewel, which is the medicine, is faultless. So if, with the analogy, we need to take certain medication at certain times a day in correct quantities. Now we're ill, we maybe get a little bit confused, we don't know, we don't understand the medical procedures very well. So our nurses or carers will take care of us, ensure that at the right times we take the right medication in the right quantities. So this is the role of the Sangha jewel. They ensure that we follow the advice of the Buddha perfectly. In other words, the Dharma jewel, the teachings of the Buddha, these we cultivate within ourselves. Because you remember the Dharma jewel, this is the minds of the true cessations and true paths. When we cultivate these within us, when we develop the Dharma jewel within us, within our own minds, that is when we have cultivated protection from suffering. Because the Dharma jewel is the true paths as well as true cessations, cessation of suffering. So the Sangha jewel then are those companions, helpers, who guide us in terms of our development. The Buddha teaches us the Dharma, which shows us the causes of suffering, the solutions to that, how to meditate on these, how to give rise to them in our minds. And when we do give rise to the solutions within us, this arises as true paths and true cessations, the Dharma jewel. And that is how we become free of suffering. It's through cultivating the Dharma jewel within us.
Denigi, that Denigi, Chu Concho said, the Japuri, Lavio, Chisanjo Concho, and Kidingo, Japuni Maravia, Savidan, Doko Sasirwa, Chu Concho, Sanjo Concho, Captain Babare, Kidingo, the Japtubia Tarore, and I guess Chu Concho, the Japuri, Lavio, but I Chu Concho, the Japuri, Mother, Kidingo, Sanjo Concho, the Japuni, when it is some Malta, some big, and Denigi, some Lokoyagi, Yangayorwa.
So it would be a mistake if one takes that Dharma jewel, which is the actual refuge. It would be a mistake then if one was to think, well, if the Dharma jewel is the actual refuge, what's the importance of the other jewel, the Buddha jewel and the Sangha jewel? So the Buddha jewel we know is the teacher of refuge, and the Sangha jewel is our or are our companions. But if they are not the actual refuge and the Dharma jewel is the actual refuge, then what's the point of those two? Now that would be a mistaken way to think.
Dinajin, that Deninza, the Benanga to get near the Trialaya, and member Kabach Kuore, member Kabat, Menda, Mensha, Konsunga Ginanzole, Raw Cheval, Tinanga to get near the Tagorwa, Chesanga to near Travala, member de Kuore, member Mena near Tago, Chesa member the Gang on the near Tagore, Meja Badiang on the name Abachigore, and Mendi name Abachigore. Hina Mendi on the Masawa ina, Menshava Kabachita, Menshap Niga, on the Tamni Mitawa, Yum the Devine, or the nature or the nature of Labjero, Captima Devine, and the Nat Diamarwa. Sisa, Sanje Conjo said the church soon, Sumbata, and getting Gojo Rock, I just Jevine, Church Conjo said, and to Gula Mena, and to Ganga say to Elmarwa. Bedinajita, Church Conjo di, Manzugi. Nemusu Drahan de Garasene, Dragorasene, made the Sage, Dona Leo du, Mengu Nuba Teletin and Anzuki native Segorwa. Just a name also secondi, Anzuki name also secondi, Mendi Chagore. Ina, Anzu name ever checking, you want the raw checking good, Gudigi, Membata, Menshap Niga, Sunga Chagor. Dinashim. Sanje Concho, Chu Concho, Kidungo, Sunga, Anzuki Duma, Meva Suelia, Sumbagi. Chigore, when it's Chigore. Inayang Lam Yamin Jeje, Lam Ding Anzugula Mekeba Ina, and Anzuki Yomo de Se to go, Mare. Se Matovenza, Lam di Gula Jeje, Yamlinje, Lam Ding Anzugula Kiondu, Lam Den and Gordon in Anzugula Kiondu, Anzu Yomo de Seagi, Meba Suegi, Meba Sugorwa. The names that may get more Labgo the Carson. Men such a Nazamosul Meva Sukendi Mendire, Mendinashi, Manzo Yomo, also Meva Sukendi, Chesang Anzukula, Lamdin Anzukula Leondu, Nazimos Meva Sukores, Yomo Bongos Meva Sukora. Dinenza co Choconchutella, Jamuri Lagu himself.
So to a patient wanting to be healed from illness, the only thing that really has the ability to heal the illness is the medicine they take. Without taking that medicine, they will not be healed, no matter how skilled the doctor is or how many skilled nurses or carers they have caring for them. But similarly, if the patient goes perhaps to a dispensary or a pharmacy and sees this array of medication, without a skilled doctor, without carers to make sure that they are following the prescription well, they too will be lost, surrounded by all this medicine, and they will not be able to heal themselves. So similarly, if one just tries to cultivate the Dharma jewel within oneself, one will not attain freedom from suffering. One needs the founder Buddha, the teacher of refuge, the teacher of the Buddha Dharma. And one also needs one's companions, those that one receives teachings from regularly, one's Dharma friends. One needs that community. All three together will ensure that the medicine is taken well and that the result is achieved. Because it's for the Dharma jewel, it is only the Dharma jewel that has the actual power to provide protection from suffering, because the Dharma jewel, the minds of true paths and true cessations, when we cultivate those within us, we are freed from suffering, we are liberated from suffering. So that is why the Dharma jewel is what actually has the power to provide protection from suffering. It is our own minds that when they are well developed, that provide us with protection from suffering. But in order to bring that about, we need to rely on the Buddha jewel, the teacher of the refuge, as well as the Sangha jewel, the companions that we have in the cultivation of these mental paths.
nyomongpa meba suyal ya ane gom nyamlen che tang tangbo samla kandis tangore nipa tinis tang dine gom gure seti ma labche di sanye jimne digi lagu warwa che sang ngo su nga su laklen taba yonda tayang du rokpa chegen di gedi ngo shu rokpa che nga su ngo su seti nyamlen che gom che du ane gansam che liya nga su kyula kokten lamden seti kiye yung gore kiye yung du chwe gongcho di nga su kile chwe gongcho le yung chwe gongcho le yung du dine nga su nga su la kiye tang nyewa kiye tang ane chik kiye diki chasang ma meba suya sare kowe ki le tang nyomo kowa kiye di meba chasang meba suya korwa dine ma ongpa na dine ki le tang nyomo pa kowa kiye ki dunga nyonga le tang nyomo pa diye ki ku sago marwa.
In terms of the causes of our suffering, the solutions to that suffering, and how to meditate on and through how to develop the solutions to our suffering through meditation, this was all taught by Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddha jewel. The Sangha jewel are our companions in our spiritual development, and the Dharma jewel, this is the qualities. Initially, it's the qualities in the mind of the Sangha jewel and the Buddha jewel, but the Dharma jewel, it will eventually arise within ourselves. These realizations, the realizations of true paths and true cessations, it's them that bring about our true protection of suffering, because when they are generated within oneself, one not only will not take rebirth in the low realms, but one will take no further uncontrolled rebirth in samsara. And moreover, one will not accumulate any causes for rebirth in samsara. So that's, again, why the Dharma jewel, the cultivation of the true paths and true cessations in our own mind, in dependence on the guidance of the Dharma jewel and the companionship of the Sangha jewel, leads us to protection from suffering.
Sangye Jumden Digi, Garson Varelabna, Sangye Jumden Digi, Takyon Zugi, Kanga di, Dunga Digi, Ni Labigi Meva Soyo Mare, Spinning Nanzuli Dua Jakbaro, the Sopor, Labi Chita, Meva Soyo, or Dinaji, Kyon Zugi, Dunga, Kanga Dingi, Labi Meva Soyo Mare. Labi Meva Soyo Mevare, and then Druigi Kanga Digi, and Negi Pen Yenden Digi, Yenden Digi, Kyon 지게 파 루시 제제 경도 연den치고 소야요 말해라래. 그래서 니기 똑바샤라. 가서 조유둥아 차기 미셀라시도 조유둥아디 니 라비기 메바스도 말해서. 니기 똑바샤라 프리미미 데스도 니기 연den디게 경도 네 마제시네 경도 귤라 연denden제 디네용 말해서. 소소칼레 마제바 디네용 말해서. 당이 갈라 그래서네 니 취이 덴바템비 조와 규르세도 니 가서네 대니 남샤다 데마시 남샤티 파 남든디게 딘데 제고레싱이 디딜 시리스 딩에 셰바디 교노주게 냠는 제바이나 곰 냠는 제바이나 아니 퇴방이 셰디 마네 야네도 퇴베 된데레 야네도 삼당 데네 된다다 하고 데레 곰 제바이나 데네 그 동아데 세투리에서 그러다 상이 쯤는 디기 동아 세상디 데네 세고레지레.
So Buddha Shakyamuni, when he was abiding in the world, he taught that although I am a Buddha, I have perfected all good qualities and completely eliminated all faults. I cannot, with my hands, wash away all your faults, clear away all your problems. I cannot do that for you. Nor all my good qualities. I can't just give them to you. I can't take them from my mind and put them in your mind. This I cannot do. What I can do, though, is I can teach the Buddha Dharma. I can teach, for example, the Four Noble Truths. And you need to hear these teachings. you need to reflect on these teachings and eventually come to be able to actually meditate on these teachings. And by hearing my teachings repeatedly, reflecting on them repeatedly, in this way, you will be able to give rise to the Dharma jewel within yourself, give rise to protection from suffering through your own mental development. But in order to bring this about, you need to hear my teachings, reflect on them, meditate on them repeatedly over a sustained period.
Japsu Droibiki, the Dunga Setantiki, Anzuki, Dunga Setantiki, and Dini Sigri, Saji, Sungorwa, Dini, Tadunga Sealia, and Sosuki, Yamlin Jesse, the San Jumden, Sungor Sangazuki, Chi, condition, Tianjin, Java Chuaris, Chisan Yu Yahu Saba, and Udela Yahu Shovan, Dela Tene, and Jewu Yahu Yungres, Chisan Yu Yahu Mena, and Jewu Yahu Mares, Yugina Samena, Jewu Yahu Mares, Chisan Diniza, Anzuki, Tianjin, Java Chuan, Dunga Se, Digi, Anzu Dunga di Meva Sebala, Yuchi Latine Meva Sugores. Chisan Dinigan the Digi Yona, the Yuchi Latine, and Anzu Yuchi Sa, Dela Dene Digi Yungores. Chisan Diniza Anzuki. Tianjin Java Chuares, Chisan Gu Yahu Cheba, and Anzu Yamlin, Gom Yamle Yahu Cheba in Dela Tene, Tadebu, Digi Sedi, Yana Yaya Chukure Saji. Deneza, Sawa Sanyu Jumnin Diki, Tawa Dida, Tianjun, dear Tawa Sas or Gudan Yin, she's doing a true mother Kala, Madubache, and Magic Jig Sushaka, Dinner Mares. Sushaka Mariza, doing a true water, dinner to Yunkure said, Tawa Tianjun said. That's on your Jumden, you saw your Juba said the kind of chores around Juba, Sewa Mebashi, Matsewa Mebache. Sewa Chikyo Mare, Shanlia Nubiki, Java said Zawi Chikyo Mare, Shanlia Nubi Java Java Ina, and Rang Shaya Makiwa, Raya Makiwa Chayada. The Niki Shanlia Sewa Chikyo, the Rashiniga Gangache, the Dini, Diton and Razulia, Leang Basa, Leang Basa, Dite Butucha Ligores, Ganga Ligore, Jeza, Java Sewa Mebachi, Sanjum Digi, Sun Shape, Chedi. Dorduna, Nina, San Jim, Tawa, Tianjum, David Namsha, Tawa, said Juba de Tsewin, Tsewami Namsha, on to Shewuresungorma.
So, what has just been presented then is how, through going for refuge, one eliminates suffering, one attains freedom from suffering and problems and all difficulties. So, again, the Buddha taught he can't wash away our problems for us. He can't reach down and remove our suffering and our causes of suffering, nor can he give us all these good qualities and bestow upon us happiness. This can only be done through ourselves in dependence on receiving teachings of the Buddha Dharma, reflecting and meditating on them. So if we want to summarize Buddhism in its briefest form, we can think of Buddhism in terms of its view and behavior or conduct. So the view would be a view of dependent arising. In dependence on a cause comes a result. Things don't come about causelessly, and things don't come about causelessly, nor can they come about through inappropriate causes. So again, the Buddha can't, a suitable cause is not the Buddha bestowing good qualities. That is not a suitable cause. A suitable cause is through receiving teachings, reflecting on them, and then they arise in one's mind. The reflection process is developing good qualities within oneself, weakening harmful minds within oneself. So this view of dependence arising is that independence on the cultivation of particular causes, particular results come about. The more powerful the causes, the more powerful the results will come. And this then is true for a result of happiness, will come from a particular cause. An unwanted result, this too comes from a particular cause. So this view of dependence arising, this is the view of Buddhism. Then the conduct or the behavior of Buddhism, this in its briefest form is not to bring harm to others. Through one's way of physically behaving, not to bring any harm to others. Through one's way of communicating, verbally communicating, not to bring any harm into the lives of others. And our way of physically acting and speaking, it comes about independent on our way of thinking. So the appropriate behavior within Buddhism, the mind is a mind of non-harmfulness. And from this mind of not wanting to bring any harm to others, our physical and verbal behavior will not bring any harm. Through cultivating this view, as well as this behavior, then one will not bring any further suffering and difficulty into the lives of those around oneself. Oneself, through not creating the causes for suffering, oneself will experience more happiness. So through developing this view and the behavior, one doesn't cause problems in the lives of others, but rather cultivates a cause for happiness. So this is the Buddhism in brief, the view of dependent arising and the conduct of non-harmfulness. We heard right at the beginning that going for refuge, you go to the three jewels or the triple gem. So this is how Buddhists go to refuge, and we've heard what these are. But then just to emphasize again why there is a need for all three.
다 상계 권초 세대 지구샤 상계 권초 지구샤 제 개유들의 상계 권초 지구샤 최 권초의 긴중 권초 세대 마샤베나 상계 권초 세 지마도 매베나 지구샤베나 직 참고 말에 그래서는 접된 법 상계 지구에나야 나주기 냠내 나주기로 또고 연된디 마게바나 네 상계 그런 개바 간에 지내야 아주 강하세 돼요 말아 진짜 되니 인자 나주 상기기 최고제 샤고비 김장 가려면 나주게 냠네 맨디 마사와이나 근데 매바 개바 같이 쉬어베네 맨테메나 개바지 멤버 개바 같이 쉬어베네 아주 내디게 매바서 통말와 디나신 상기에서의 개바시 코로 연된시보다 교육군세 연된군대 이내 아주 냠네 제지 귤레게 지매나 맨도지 사야 매바나 아주기 녀모바디 매바서 통말와 디니 인장 never yapo travel member keba jibu yoba zami never tratu go ma dele se men ji ko ro ba jisan di na ji men na shin da chue gon cho se de ngan ju nyan men ji ngan ju ko ten da lam de ngan ju le ki ko ho re di ni ki me ba na ne ko nyom mo ba le tue tu me ba re ka nga se tu me ba yin za san ji jibu chue go san ji gon cho jibu sha da di ma re dele chue gon cho se ko ri jisan chue gon cho sha go be gyum zan di dum gyum zan di ngan ju nyom mo ba jo la so su gom jap che ngan ju ki le ki wo re ma da san ji de ngan ju ki le ki yo ma ro ko ka ro wa jisan di ni yin za 데니기 끼고 인자 디게 끼네 아주 녀모바 강아세야 디게디 가르선 최고 줘야 되래 제가 된자 산요 건조 지구 지금 말대 최고 줘서 구글에서 최고 줘샤고비 김자로 드려요.
If one just relies on the Buddha jewel, perhaps has great faith in the Buddha and the teacher of refuge, but that is all one does. Have great faith in the Buddha, trust in the Buddha. That will not lead to an end of suffering, liberation from suffering. Because no matter how strong our faith alone in the Buddha is, good qualities will not arise within our mind, nor will all faults be eliminated in our continuum. It's just like if one is ill and goes to the doctor and receives an excellent diagnosis and an unmistaken prescription, if one leaves it at that, one will stay ill. Because what we need to do to become freed of suffering, for the mind of refuge to fulfill its potential, we need to follow the advice of the doctor. We need to take our medication, because that is the only way we can develop the Dharma jewel within us, these true paths and true cessations, develop those realizations of the Buddha Dharma within ourselves. No matter how strong our faith is in the Buddha cannot arise in our mind We are different. Buddha is of one continuum. We are of a different continuum. So a Buddha or Buddha Shakyamuni cannot arise in our continuum. What we need to do is rely on the Dharma jewel.
ane chige sanje goncho dan chue goncho ni sha na ji do a shi za san ye ge ma chue tuan de na ga zu nyam len che du ane chue go de na lam de ni chue gon jing a zu ge ge du den dong a se tu do a ane ge de go jo go ya min do a san be ge sam no yo si ge do a shi za da yin ne ge de go jo go bi gyum jan ga re lam na 아 속에 냠는 제제 최고조 귤에 깨와라 가서 냠는 제고 그래 냠는 제와라 가서 냠도 안에 지로 체인지 그거를 근데 상계에서 된 가지고 그긴 제 퇴할까 깔래 하고 와 상계에서 되는 제야ля 아주 강한 하고 그래 세상 아주 쇠남디 용거 말아 세상 되니 인자 안 될량 아주 미 넘버 정 아주 더 직바로 넘버 된제 아주 로봇 체인지 그거 세상 디 로봇 넘버 된지 로봇 제대 기능 거죠 최고라 세상 기능 거죠 고야디 김전들이 아주게 곰제 냠는제 장뒤 qab을이야 두수 세다 되네 제 두수 장고 되네 곰 고래스는 아주 더 넘버 직바로 된제 내가 아주 랍칸디 다 파베게디 가사디게 게린 거 조차고 되네지 매바인데 가지고 장투고 말 매바자 된 게린 게 거야디 게치 못 김센디래.
And if one thinks, as we've heard about the importance of the Dharma jewel, the actual refuge, and the teacher of refuge, the Buddha jewel, if one thinks, well, that's sufficient, what do I need the Sangha jewel for? Well, that would also be a mistake. In reality, it's a little difficult for us to meet Buddha Shakyamuni. It's a little difficult for us to receive teachings from him directly. And moreover, to give rise to the Dharma jewel within ourselves, we need to train our mind, we need to practice, we need to gain experience of the Buddha Dharma. And to do that, we need to receive teachings, we need to be guided in our spiritual development. And it's going to be a bit difficult to receive that from Buddha Shakyamuni himself. So we need to rely on those who appear as similar to us. We need to rely on a teacher who can teach the unmistaken Buddha Dharma, who can guide us in our spiritual development. And this teacher then, we see as being the Sangha jewel. So therefore, one needs to rely on all three of the jewels in order to spiritually develop.
상기 상기게 용으로 이걸 주게 답인데 상기 많이 봐 용으로 파바 간사 방법으로 세상 안으로 줄려 미 넘버 안으로 넘버 된 장안으로 줄려 최념의 제权안으로 롭된 난게 당연 주기 되니기 이렇게 되라나 상기야 요래 상기 많이 봐 용으로 파바 간사 되라.
The Sangha jewel then we heard were noble beings, Arya beings, who have generated the Dharma jewel within their minds through paths and through cessations. So noble beings or Arya beings, those who have the Dharma jewel, include Buddhas. All Buddhas are also Arya beings. There are also non-Buddhas who are Arya beings. So therefore the Sangha jewel includes both Buddhas and those who are rapidly approaching the state of enlightenment.
되네 자당 저기 접유들에 건조 숨샤 호베 김천로지들에 숨마도 직샤나 니마신 직마도 메샤나 안절야 동아세야랴 등거 말에 되네 니샤시 직 니마도 마샤베나 참고 말 되다 정한 저기 동아세야랴 숨된 짐이가 참고가 제거래 내 숨세대 뉴뉴시마 주지다 숨 건조 숨마도 민도와 맨내는 아주 직배 동아 도와 semje 망고 숨기다 도와 망고 동아 세트야를 깔래 보러 섬비야 드네 숨 뉴뉴마도 민도 뉴타베 끼어로 두 섬비 용식으로 왔네.
So it should be clear now why one needs to rely on all three jewels, and this is a definite enumeration, not one, not two, but three. But then maybe someone here is thinking, amongst all the beings that have existed in this world, three is kind of small. Well, shouldn't there be more jewels than just these three?
차상 대선 질려 최고 좋습니다. 그래. 상계 망고요나 상이 대선 딜라 상요 권조. 나 겐뉴 파베 가서 빠도 매봐 요때 대서 대술래한 대선 질려는 겐뉴 권조 왔어. 지선 대선 숨체시고 디나로야 다 권조 숨 디나라 마두겐기 권조 징한테 권조 요 말에 안지 다 상요 권조 이나 최권조 권조 간의 신에 야나 겐뉴 권조 인거래 야나 최권조 야나 상요 권조 권조 숨 디나 뒤로 지선 디네자 권조 숨 샤야 될 망외 교요 말 융차외 교요 말 다다의 차트 그래지래.
Well, actually, there are innumerable instances of the three jewels. Because if we think of the first, the Buddha jewel, it refers to Buddha Shakyamuni, but not Buddha Shakyamuni alone. It refers to all Buddhas, and there are innumerable beings who have cultivated all good qualities to a level of perfection and completely eliminated all faults, and thereby have perfected themselves and become Buddhas. Likewise, the Sangha jewel. Again, there are innumerable beings who have given rise to true paths and cessations in their qualities. All those Buddhas, as well as the Arya beings who are not yet Buddhas, but have attained such realizations within their continuums. So there are many instances of the Sangha jewel as well. And then all of these Arya beings, all of them, the Buddhas and the other Arya beings, they have the Dharma jewel within their continuum. So therefore there are also innumerable instances of the Dharma jewel. So therefore, from one perspective, you can say there are many of the Buddha jewel, Dharma jewel, Sangha jewel, but they are all contained within these three. So therefore, to say there are three jewels, and definitely only three jewels, this is correct.
권조 숨기마서 권조 시 권조 nga 샤나 디기라 마 여나 안데 판도 세 용구레 선배게 용식으로 권조 시 마시와 가래 nga 마시와 가래 선배나 배나가 저기 네바지 잡아라 멤버 캐바지당 멤버 캐바지 매 야고 직지다 안에 매셔바 야고 지여바네 니 숨기 nga 저기 네바디 다투고로 와 델레 망아셔나 고야스요 말와 멤버 캐바지 고고린지 미지가선 네데 야고 하고 고로 델레 멤버 캐바디 나지드 다에게 매 야고 고고래 니 인지미지 고고래 세메 야고요는 맨 뒤도 야고 따도 지킨지 고고래 니숨 차와나 맞아 내들 다투고 겹투고 봐 니나시 산제 권조가 마 나중에 냠는 지어가 찾아 돼 되니 개든 권조 되게 나중에 냠는 지에도 로야 보체 되니 나중에 냠는 지데 아니 고티네 최 권조 아주 길게야도 아주 동안을 주고 강아 녀몽바데 메바 코와를 줘야기 봐 강아 세투고 봐 지난 디시 요거야 말 멤버들라 네 잡아들라 맨 개바지 맨 야고지다 맨세 야고 숨들에 하바지에네 세 베제 셔라셔 베주요 말봐 단 맞아 조서 당원에 조서 체 차야 마도 신 베지면 디나시리다 권조 숨들라 디 숨래 하바 신 샤발라 고바스카요 말에.
So if one were to think, well, three jewels, I understand, but wouldn't it be better if there were four jewels, or maybe five? The more the merrier. Well, let's understand this maybe through the analogy of a patient. So if a patient's severely ill, they may well rely on more than one doctor, and from more than one doctor they are sure to receive more than one prescription. And if they are severely ill, they'll be in hospital and cared for round the clock by many nurses. But still, it would be correct to say that the doctors are of one class, one category, the medication is of a second, and the caring staff, the nurses, these three are of three categories, three classes. There's no need for anything beyond that. One may have more instances, but there's no need for a fourth division or a fifth division. And so it's the same here with ourselves, wanting to be freed of suffering and pain. We need to have an unmistaken founder teacher, the Buddha jewel. We need to have our companions, those that we can relate to on the spiritual path, those who appear like ourselves, the Sangha jewel. Those who, the Sangha jewel, have developed the qualities of the Buddha Dharma within themselves. And then thirdly, we need to rely on the Dharma, on that prescription, eventually giving rise to the Dharma jewel within our own minds.
Dene inza da bene da sangye se de sangye konchu yende ro shi ne gu yende la ngan zhe ge ne denba sha ge to chi ne gu yende la chan sang bo sum je zan yin ne be xie sang bi ge ju se gu yende bao do me ba ye ba ane tu yu sung gu yende de ya ane che ma kham na me ba de che ane ji du nga se ge che bao do me ba song ya dang ane ji sung gu yende de la sangye ge sung ji ge ben mi jia ni ye ji ya zhe ji sang ji le du su ji le ya zhe shu ba yin na ane 디디야 안에 게임이도 미도 돈에 주위에나 상여 좀내 디게 송지 말랭기도 차상리 게임이도 돈에 렌지 캡차 뒤지리야 캡투고 그래. 그래서 상지 송그 연된데 요래 저래. 상지게 투고 연달라 시자 진예바 가지 차상 디마켄 바세요. 차상 킨거 그래. 대양원숨도 캠베 연된. 안에 제와 심전타 저 동화단 자나 선비게 심전템 저 동화단 자야다 심전템 저 디기 주야게 잠지게 라신 잠재기네. 데네 캠비 제유연된. 데네 안에 누비연된. 데네게 상예게 데네 최송제 현동화 코와려야 그투에게 야 타바 탐지 캠벌 그투에게 누바요레스. 진짜 데네 인상 상예연데 데네 시요 바래시래. 데네 먼저 뉴뉴로 직뒤뒤로 시작하나.
In terms of the qualities of the Buddha, well, to look at it in a very abbreviated way, so physically he has a wide array of qualities. He can emanate wherever beings are in need in a way that beings can relate to. Secondly, so the physical qualities, amongst these there are many. Then the qualities of speech. So the main qualities, the quality of speech, and this is the teaching of the Buddha Dharma. And he teaches in accordance with the various personalities of beings. So in a way that works for each being's individual personality. And he can talk, he's not restricted by varying languages, but can guide beings, teach beings directly in a way that is most suited to them. And then in terms of the qualities, so that's the qualities of body and speech and then mind, this is the omniscient consciousness. We can think of the qualities of his mind in terms of the omniscient consciousness. There's nothing that's unknown or hidden. There's no confusion or ignorance at all in a mind that is perfected, an omniscient consciousness. Then moreover, a fourth quality of the Buddha is that of love or care. So this refers to the compassionate motivation of the Buddha, that everything a Buddha does is guided by the wish to free beings from suffering, or guided by the wish to guide beings so they can develop their minds to attain freedom from suffering.
겹수 좋아한자 상계 건조스나 겹수 좋아하다 가를 랍고르스네 아니 야 건조스나 겹수 좋아한자 아 저기 베네 셈젤이야 가스고리 샬리아 차와치요 말해서 차와치기메 셈비게 샬리아 차와치기메 셈베 삼로디야 아니 녀바기메 셈베 삼로디 장고 레제레 차와 샬리아 차와치기메 셈베 아니.
Then let's look at the precepts that come with going for refuge. So the first is a commitment not to bring harm to others.
bene konjo sumlia japsu dingi japsu jowanza sem tembo jewanza ta kyanlia japsu jewaina konjo sumlia shenbi jap shanda jile jewaina ta den konjo sumlia ode yichi di ma chung jwe nyanga yorba dine za konjo sumlia shenbi gi an kyanlia jap jwe yo ma de jere.
The second then is that having freely chosen to go to the three jewels for refuge and done so with sincerity, one doesn't go elsewhere for refuge or protection, because to do so would lead to confusion and lead to one's conviction in the three jewels weakening. So the second precept then, the first was not ever to bring harm to others, and then the second is to only go to the three jewels for refuge.
당한저 꾸르버치네 베네 지게 꾸르의 규제디 베네 세라당 우이다 되네게 꾸르신 어디 야가로 삼다 야 꾸양 너다 신다 되네 소셔바도 어디 규제디 되네산 디테스 통초라지네 안디니 지겨 말레스 규제 야도 가리네 메네 꾸지 인사베 제발야 지부지경으로 차상 상기 꾸이기 두시에 자제 차상에 찍어 삼당을 꾸이기 두시에 자제는 내려 찍어 치고마도 안지 어디야 디 두아래 삼디다겨 말하시래 그래서 그 규제를 개발 요르디 이네 상기 꾸라 아니 개발기네요 말로.
And thirdly, one sees a variety of representations of the Buddha, the statues and the like. One should refrain from criticizing them because some, maybe the artists had varying levels of ability or varying degrees of beautiful materials were used. So some may be made from gold, some made from clay or wood. So here one should refrain from criticizing these various representations, saying, oh, this one's better, this one, oh, not so good. But rather recognize that maybe the craftsmanship and certainly the materials may well differ or do differ, but that any perceived fault doesn't abide within a Buddha, and therefore refrain from criticizing representations of the Buddha.
디네 자야 상기 꾸다 디네게 베제라 소바다 디네게 베치마직 베 마사가라 샤샤바당 구셰메베 토난 탈라샤다 안능한 저기 베제당 꾸디기 파시나 강비디가 직두스트와다 디네 자오기네 지겨 말에 그래서 다 상기 꾸려야 상기 꾸무의 두셰 디네게 아주 베제 뎁데게랴 안 베제디기 이기데게랴 안 상기 송의 두셰 샤제 될랴 통침부저 자침부지시 안능한 저기 야 구셰제단 대바치고 그래마도 안지게 마사가라 샤샤바다 안까지 간주만중 안 직자다 강배 nem야다 되는 시야도 지겨 말해지래.
Similar to needing to cultivate a respectful attitude to the physical representations of the Buddha jewel, likewise with the physical representations of the Dharma jewel. So as we heard earlier, the Dharma jewel, the actual refuge, are minds within the Buddhas and Arya beings, and the minds we wish to cultivate eventually within ourselves. But the representations are the Dharma texts. So these we should, as representations of the actual refuge, we should treat in a way that's respectful. We shouldn't put them on the floor, walk over them, sit on them, and put them in somewhere that's unclean or allow them to remain dusty. So the representation of the Dharma jewel, just like the representation of the Buddha jewel, we should have a respectful attitude towards.
베네디니기 베지 갈야 상기 구로시네 군도시네 베지 갈라 샤추고 말에 지상 베지 갈라 상기 군도로시네 샤추고 말에 지나다 베지로시네 상기 구강려 샤스면나 상기 구강려 샤고잖아 구강려 샤스나 지고래 샤추고래 맞아 베 송갈라 구샤추고 말에 구강려 송샤나 지고래.
Likewise, one doesn't put things, objects on top of Dharma text, because one should have this respectful attitude towards it. One wouldn't even put an image of the Buddha on top of a Dharma text, because the Dharma text represents the Dharma jewel, the actual refuge. And so if you think of a shrine, for example, the Dharma text will be at the highest point, and the Buddha images, they will be lower than the Dharma texts. Need to use one's wisdom and not grasp tightly at rules. So let's say we're reading a book outside, Dharma text outside, and it's windy, and we put the text down. You may want to put something on the text so the pages stay open and they don't blow in the wind. This is, of course, fine. And this would be most obvious with the traditional texts, which have loose leaf pages. So then if you place an object on the text so it doesn't blow away, This makes sense. But other than that, one does not place something on top of a Dharma text, whether it's one's mala or the clock, one would not do so.
Dondala, Danganzo Shedi, Gumzero, Donda Harasan, Conjo Sum Shedi, Camdro Second says, and Jabu de lo Conjo Sumche. Then Anzugi, and Japsu Hegi, Gudela, Bene Koalia, Gun, on the Koalia, Targudu, Sembe, Dambon, and the Koalia, Targun, the Koalia, Targudu, Sembe, Samloske. And the Hana Danganzugi, Susujibu Mayamba, Randa Shen, Semjan Tam Jokoa Dile, Targudu, Matan Tabinu, Sempiki, Guno Dilia, the Targud Sempiki, Kori, Gun Tonje, Koa Dile, Matan Tabinu, Sembe Samlochitang. That the Nigo Koa Dile Tayagi, Jobi, Nuba de Sulioris, that Conjosum de Yore, Sempiki, that Conjosum Yundana, Samtang, Conjosum Yore, some Yiche. Just not that Denigi, some need not say with Jelia, Dangan to Simjan Tamju Koa, Dele, Good, Conjusum, Yoguri, some bigeta, Yiche Bigi, Lo Lingi, Lo Sem Yiche, Yoguri, some Kelimbe, Damjadi, the Camdore. That is Anzugim. Dambo Uni de Samatajo, Korea Dunga, those in the Koa de Taugudu, some Gun, Samta, Dine Taugudu, Ransha, Simjan, Tamju Koa de Taugudu, some Samata, some of the Yana Yana, then a young kept Sumki and then the Pa Samta, or that in the Koa Dunga, let kept some Yuguri, some Yishi Lodi. Tempuri, di Yane, Yando, Comia, to Camdo Chabares, or dead, Dingan to Camdo Coms, Camdo Cumguas, di Yane, Yando Com, and the Nigi, Comia di Camdo Combas, Camdo Satire. She's not that on the Nigi Camdo Yoba in Zang, the Nigi Camdo Yoba in Zang, Dangi, Shalia, Sevi, Javasat, Zawin Chigme, some Chida, and the young Chike, that Jap Sum, Conjo Sumle, Shen Bigetanga, Jap Zego, Shanta, Jap Zego, Yomarescas, and Digi Jup Tugores, and Joya, Digi Jup Tuba, and Shanta Zego, and Minu Samada, Chike, Denigi, or Dusian in Yamlen, Lalan Dadirwa, Deneza, that Denigi, that Sosugi, Jamre Chevanza, that Deni, Sanjig, Sunshape, Chelia, and Tinya, Chen, Yalia, Tursum. Tevachele, Yane, Yanduche, Tevayane, Yanduche, and the Digi Dondala Yane and some died the Chagore, Chesna Dinigiza, Jamre Diringa to Shege Dondala, the Medicason kept sum said in Chilegore, Digi more than it in the Japtan in the Seshe. Chesnada kept sum Shaho became Senda Dismashe, that Donda Nimbo Dilang to some Nalia, the Nigi. Tunhatal Cube, the conscious Cubri, some Yishi, the tempo di Dinga to go comia de Chesna Digi Shokan Ba, so long that, or that, draw some Tamjo, Duma de la Tau, do Ditayat, Tau Matan Tapinu, some begin Jamniches, Denienza, and ya, and Delecuba, San Conscious, Cubri, some conscious of the Nuba Yore, some Jamie conscious of the and Yending Tong, that Dele Cubri, some Yishi, Timboche, Dinga to Shogan Kepreche. And the Negins Adanga, Camdro Cheva, Camdro Yobanza, me didn't get Lakare, Chevin, Shelia, Nubi Chavas, in the Chimia, Sempachina, Shelia, Pembe Chavaru, got to come to the Chigins and Besam Chida, Diagic, Sanjena, Cheda, Ya Conchola, Kataje, and Chikunchi, and Desunium doing Tumbuche, and Casora, Chick Carson, Sosuina, Denigi, Gunshu again, Yayora, Sembe. That kept Sumle, Bigeda, Shanda kept Tegos came in Wosembe. On those chatting on Jiggy, Nidelia, some daddy, did it, Denienza, Denigi, kept danger, some Tamjig Donald, San Yokopa Toba Chiki in Sembe. On those chatting on Jiggy Chanshu Sem, some daddy, and didn't give up sending it, and some daddy, don't have to cheat it.
So, sorry, I've gone on a little bit longer today, so I just want to now summarize briefly what we spoke about today. In particular, then, how to engage in the meditation on refuge. Because, as we've heard, refuge then is a mind, there's a mind of refuge. And the strength of our refuge depends on the strength of this mind of refuge. So, we've just mentioned about the precepts and the things not to engage in. So my hope is that one will not engage in these deeds these acts out of these are the rules, I mustn't break them, but rather develop the mind of refuge and thereby not want to contravene the precepts of refuge. And the way then to develop the mind of refuge is, as we heard at the beginning of the talk, to reflect on the two causes. The suffering nature of cyclic existence. How if we are not manifestly experiencing suffering, that situation though may still change at any moment, and something awful may befall us. Come to think in great detail about the sufferings of samsara so that we give rise to a wish to be freed of suffering. And what makes that reflection much more powerful, much more meaningful, is then if we take our awareness from our own experience of suffering and relate that to the situation of others, reminding ourselves that others too wish to be freed of suffering. Others too don't want to experience even a moment of difficulty. Then having reflected on suffering, we reflect on the qualities of the three jewels. In particular, that if one develops the Dharma jewel within oneself, that is how one becomes freed of suffering. And so here then, one reflects on the causes of refuge, those two, and then if one has received teachings on Buddhism, one now engages in the meditation as you have been taught on those teachings. And this way then, the precepts of refuge, they start to become very natural to one, in that as the minds of the Dharma arise within oneself, one will not want to cause any harm in the lives of others. One will not want to talk or act in a way that causes suffering and difficulty for others. Moreover, wherever the opportunity comes one's way, whether through our way of talking, our way of communicating, or our way of acting, where we can bring benefit into the lives of others, we'll want to do so. So in this way, starting from the mind of refuge and then into other meditation practices, the wish to bring benefit into the lives of others, the wish to, where we can, reduce the suffering that others experience, and at the very least, not add to their burden of difficulty, will grow ever stronger within us. And as we engage in these meditations more frequently, the wish to continue this path of self-development will grow. We will want to live out this mind of refuge through receiving more teachings and continuing to reflect on those teachings, meditate on those teachings, so we gain ever greater familiarity with our spiritual development, with the minds of the Buddha Dharma. So in this way, our mind of refuge becomes more stable. Our conviction that the three jewels have the ability to protect us from suffering grows more stable. And any distraction through going for refuge elsewhere, those minds just will no longer arise, because we'll be starting to experience our own inner transformation, our own mental development.
Lobsang Dorje sasare na yin ruya ge Geshe chorwa dine zang du nyela chapsang la tang ko ne chapsang phe che ne jingma je sha digwa jingma chapsang me na yang chik da.
So then we've finished the talk. So those who've just here for the talk, then thank you very much. Please feel free to go. Those who would like to engage in the refuge ceremony and receive the lay vows, then maybe we'll take a short break so that one can use the facilities down there, and then we'll start in 5 minutes or so when people return. So thank you.